Hello again, everybody. Now, you see behind me here the 2012 Equinox. And actually, the videos that I've made on the Equinox talking about the fixing the oil burning they are some of my most viewed videos. Apparently, a lot of people have the problem with the oil burning. I've got it basically stopped on this one, but sometimes you have to do a cleaning. That is one of the main questions I have had on those videos on doing the cleaning. I guess I didn't go through the process as well, or I didn't explain the process as well as I should have. Okay, let's check the oil first and then I'll go through all that. Okay, so the oil on the dipstick, I don't know if you'll even be able to see it. Yeah. See, that's the problem. That's one problem. But it is low. You can see that the oil is low. One more thing you can see about it. The color. That is kind of a dark color for not ready to be changed yet. You can see it's kind of darker oil. Now, okay, so I don't know how well you can see the mileage, but we have 98,374 miles. We change our oil at 99,300. So according to that, I should have another 1,000 miles to go on the oil change. But looking at the condition of the oil, I think this engine is getting dirty again, and that just means that it needs a good cleaning. So I'm going to show you. Now, this is a little soon. Ordinarily it would be at about 500 miles before the oil change, and that's what I'm probably going to do. I'm probably going to put this in, drive it about 500 miles, and then change the oil. But you don't want to drive it for 1,000 miles with Seafoam in it. I don't know that it would hurt anything, but I wouldn't want to run it like that. 500 miles, it doesn't hurt it. I do it every oil change, except for the last one. I skipped the cleaning on the last one, and I'm starting to see the results from that. So you have to do this cleaning every oil change if you want to keep from burning oil. So let me show you just what you do to start the cleaning process. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just basically, if you remember, I have the PCV valve in the oil cap. It is just drilled in and it just goes into the oil cap. Now, one thing I am going to do, pull this off and make sure that it does make sure that it opens, because you don't want this PCV valve to get stuck, because that will still cause the same problems that you have with blowing the seals and such. This one is fine. And it does seem to have a little oil coming through. I may have to check and may have to actually add an oil catch can just to see. But now, as far as the Seafoam goes, regular old can of Seafoam. Okay, so we're just going to dump our Seafoam straight into the engine, straight into the oil fill. Make sure you spill about half of it. And okay, you can't see inside this can, but that's about half of this bottle. Okay, so now you're going to save the rest of this, and you're going to drive your car for like 500 miles, and then you're going to do the oil change. But right before the oil change, you will add the rest of this into the intake, and I will show you how to do that when we get our 500 miles down. Okay, so now for the cleaning part, you know, we already put the Seafoam in the oil, and we are driving down the road, right? Okay, so what you've got to do is try to monitor your RPMs. Just drive drive normal, but see, it's going to probably downshift here somewhere. Yeah, don't rev it over about 3,000 RPM, because you have oil in there that is not your approved viscosity anymore, because of the seafoam. It's probably reduced the viscosity some. So you don't want to rev your engine really high. But other than that, you pretty much just drive normally. Okay, so now we have done our it's been about 400 miles or so of driving with the seafoam in the oil. Now that has been cleaning up our bottom end, our crankcase, the bottom of the piston rings, wherever it can get to. It is pretty much done with its cleaning on the inside of the crankcase. Now we need to clean from the top, and the way we're going to do that is through the intake. And now not only is this going to clean up our piston rings, our valves and everything else, but this is kind of needed for this type of vehicle, because this vehicle has the direct fuel injection system on it, which means it injects fuel directly into the combustion chamber. So it is not spraying fuel over the valves themselves, and the fuel is what helps keep the valves clean, the intake valves, of course. So when you do this cleaning, you're cleaning up your intake valves too. So I think that is kind of needed on this engine. So we are going to basically do your regular old seafoam cleaning that you would do on about any type of vehicle, but this is to actually free up the rings. Okay, so in my case, I have a really good vacuum hose I can use in the oil cap, or in the PCV hose from the oil cap. But you may not have that. You may have to pull it off of the brake booster, or find another vacuum line somewhere. If not, you could pull this off and try to dribble it down into there. But let's start the engine, and then I'll pull that off and we will do our little treatment. It's going to mess up the running. It's going to start missing if you let the air go in like that. But if you can see, I'm just very, very little. And now with an ordinary car, you can sit here and you can work the throttle, but this one, it has the electronic throttle. You can't do that. So you could have somebody in there holding their foot on the gas, but I found it really doesn't matter that much. Okay, so if you notice, as soon as I got done dumping this in, I turned the car off. And the reason for that is because I want whatever is left of this seafoam to sit in the intake, or in the cylinders, or whatever. I want it to sit in there for a little while and soak. And then what we'll do is we'll start it up, probably give it about 10-15 minutes to sit and soak. We're going to let this sit here a while and I'll get back to you. Okay, so now it has set about 15 minutes and soaked. So now what you're going to want to do is start it up, and you may get a little bit of a smoke show out of it. So let's just see what it happens. Okay, so start it up, and it's kind of got a little mist to it right now. But what you're going to want to do It's not responding very well to throttle inputs, but what you're going to want to do is go up. Come on. Yeah, it's having trouble. Okay, so I'm going to have to reset code because it's flashing, but that's fine. Service to Track. I don't know where that's coming from, but it's having trouble. I'm holding it almost wide open. Okay. Okay, so this is pretty much normal. This is what you want to see. We are cleaning the intake, and it's smoking. Okay, so one more thing that you may have to do after doing this cleaning, because we had some misfires and all that going on. It's untelling what all it's throwed. But you'll need a code reader, or you can go to your local auto parts place, or if you got a friend that's got a reader or something. So let's see what codes we got in here. Let's see, what's it connected to so far? It shows it is connected. Yeah. Fault code scan. And I've always had the evap leak. That's always there. But the PO300, I knew it would have that because random multiple cylinder misfire, because it's misfiring because it's getting all these bursts of weird fuel, that Seafoam, into it. So it doesn't know what to do with it. So it's flooding it out, misfiring, and it's going to throw a code. But I'm going to clear, sending the clear command, and as you can see, now our light is off. We can also go in, reset our oil life and all that kind of stuff, but I don't really worry about that. I do my oil by mileage. Like, yeah, I'll have to make me a sticker like I did that one. I'll make me another one to go over top of it so I can make my next mileage. But yeah, you may have to clear some codes. So now we'll do our regular oil change on it, and then we're good to go. Okay, just gotta take it loose like that. I think my electric ratchet is starting to mess up a little. Okay, so what we got here is, here is the oil filter, and I'm getting it all over the place. Okay, the oil shouldn't look real bad, but I always like to look at it and just see. Oops, like that, and then kind of look at it. Oops, missing a little. Okay, so we'll let that drain. I mean, it doesn't, there's no kind of grit or nothing like that in it. It's really black, but it's been cleaning. So that shows right there that you have cleaned some of the deposits out of your engine, because they're coming out right now. So there you go. Okay, so that completes the cleaning process, and yeah, I guess that's about it. Now it's just pretty much you drive it and keep a check on the oil, and I'll bet after a couple of these good cleanings, your oil usage will drop to negligible between oil changes. You may end up with half a quart or a quarter of a quart between oil changes, but you're not going to have the excessive oil usage that these vehicles are known for, unless you have already got worn out rings or worn out cylinders, which can happen. Let me know down in the comments below if this answered all your questions that some of you had about how to do this cleaning. I wanted to do a detailed version of this so that you can see in detail what I do to clean it, because I think there was some confusion last time that I put one of these out. Anyway, I guess that's going to be about it for this little video. I appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.